In this example, the objective of the rule is to identify transactions whereby a card-present transaction is made in one country, followed by a domestic card-present transaction in another country, for example Singapore, within a short period of time. The premise here is, a cardholder would be physically unable to travel to another country in such a short span of time to perform a card-present transaction, so the transaction is highly likely to be fraudulent. In order to identify card-present transactions in one country, for example Singapore, followed by card-present transactions in another country, country B, within a short period of time, an activity tracking and real-time decisioning rule is required. First, click on the Rules Admin tab. Select Activity Tracking from the Rules Type drop-down, then click on Create New Rule. Then give this rule a name, Activity Tracking Card Present Transaction. Then give a meaningful description, to track domestic card present transactions. Now add a definition. This will take you to the Rule Definition Edit Criteria page. Choose Merchant Category Code from the Parameters drop-down menu. For operator, select equals and Singapore as the value. To choose the country code, you can either input the code directly into the field or key in the description and click Find First. By clicking Find First, the corresponding description will then be found. Once you have verified that the correct code has been selected, click the Add to Criteria List button. Next, the parameters to identify card-present transactions needs to be set. To do this, select POS Entry Mode from the Parameters menu. For operator, select IN and the merchant category codes for magnetic stripe transactions and chip transactions as the values. Once you have verified the selection, click on Add and Update. Now, this activity tracking rule has been created to track domestic card-present transactions. The next step is to create the main real-time decisioning rule. From the Rule Type drop-down, select Real-Time Decisioning, followed by Create New Rule. Then, give this rule a name. For instance, Cross-Border Card Present after Domestic Card Present Transaction. Then, give a meaningful description. Decline card-present transactions in one country, while followed by a domestic card-present transaction within a short period of time. Now, add a definition. Choose Merchant Category Code from the Parameters drop-down menu. For operator, select Outside of, and Singapore as the value. Once you have verified that the correct country code is selected, click the Add to Criteria List button. Next, the parameters to identify card-present transactions needs to be set. To do this, as per the Activity Tracking rule, select POS Entry Mode from the Parameters menu. For operator, select IN and magnetic stripe transactions and chip transactions as the values. Once you have verified that the correct codes have been selected, click the Add to Criteria list. The transaction amount must now be set. Select Transaction Amount from the Parameters drop-down menu. For operator, select More Than and 0 as the value. Then click on Add. Lastly, in order to utilize the Activity Tracking rule, Activity Tracking Card Present Transactions needs to be selected from the Parameters drop-down menu. From here, the Activity Tracking rule, Activity Tracking Card Present Transaction can be selected. For operator, select Occurred Within and 30 minutes for the value. Finally, click on Add and Update. Now, the real-time decisioning rule has been created to decline card-present transactions from a country outside of Singapore, preceded by a domestic card-present transaction from Singapore within a very short period of time. We have now completed the rule criteria definitions and so can proceed to selecting the processing options. Select Decline as the action and Always as the time frame. Now, this rule has been created as we can see in the rule definition page. Please always test your rule, assess the result and activate the rule only after you have determined that the rule meets your objective. Rule activation will follow a batch cycle, where activation takes place every 15 minutes from the top of the hour.